Welcome to ThePrint. This is Sourav Roy Barman. It's election season in Chhattisgarh and we are in Bastar. It's a region which is home to several indigenous communities with a rich and vibrant history. It is also among the most backward regions of the country. More importantly, around 6,000 square kilometers or 15% of the total landmass of Bastar remains under the control of Maoists. Naturally, holding elections in many parts of Bastar is not an easy task. The authorities are trying to push back, as part of which 40 polling stations are being set up this time in parts of Bastar after decades to expand the footprint of Indian democracy. The students of a primary school in Cherpal, deep inside Bastar's Dantewara district, recently found pamphlets which are allegedly being circulated by the Maoists in the area in the lead up to the November 7 polls. The school holds a special significance as Bastar heads to polls because, for the first time in decades, it will serve as a polling center, along with 40 others across all the 7 districts of Bastar division. Near Sukma's Silgar village, the Maoists targeted a school building where polling will be held as well.
मैं राम मुकुंजाम बालक आश्रम तरे अधीक्षक और
इस स्कूल में कितने बच्चे पढ़ते हैं?
50 सर।
ये बोर्डिंग स्कूल है
जी।
और अभी 50 है या 35 आप बताएं?
35 है।
35 है
जी।
और ये बता रहे थे आप कि जो डैमेज किया है नक्सलियों ने, जी, ये कब हुआ था? जो कांच का तोड़
ये अगस्त माह में सर।
अच्छा
जी।
ये स्कूल में तब बच्चे थे या स्कूल में बच्चे नहीं थे?
सर।
स्कूल थे
जी। वो बच्चा ना सर वो जहाँ सोता था उस दिन ना वहाँ नहीं सोया है। हाँ। अगर वहाँ सोए रहता तो पता नहीं क्या होता।
तो ये बच्चे डर गए होंगे तब?
जी डर गए सर।
अच्छा
जी।
तो पुलिस प्रशासन को आप लोगों ने
जी बताया
था?
जी।
उसके बाद से ये ऐसा कोई दोहराया उन लोगों?
ऐसा कुछ नहीं बस।
अच्छा
जी।
With polling set to take place in another 1 week, the region is replete with such accounts of the Naxals trying to make their presence felt even as the administration pushes back, seeking to reclaim places where its authority had diminished and in some cases disappeared over the years.
Compared to Assembly election 2018, for 2023 we have opening up more than 126 new polling stations. Out of this, 40 are those polling stations which were earlier shifted to the nearest police stations or security camp locations for security concerns. This time we are reshifting them to the original village so that more and more voters can come and participate in the election process. This could be possible because in the last 5 years we have opened up more than 65 new security camps in the erstwhile LW stronghold areas. Because of this new security camps, we could build up a good security environment in those areas. As an outcome, we are reshifting these 40 polling stations to their original village area, and apart from that, more than 86 new polling stations are being established in Bastar range, mainly because of increase in the population of that particular hamlets or a new habitation coming up in that area. So out of all this 126 new polling stations, we are going for the election this time. A detailed security plan has been worked out. Conducting elections in left-wing extremism affected area is always a challenge for the security forces and the local administration, because as an ideology, always Maoist used to give a boycott call during the elections, whether it is assembly election or general election or even local body election. They used to give a boycott call. Considering all these factors, then we used to go for a detailed deployment plan. We used to deploy existing forces like DRG, Bastar fighters, we have Cobra and central paramilitary forces like CRPF, BSF, ITBP, and we used to get additional forces from outside also for the election purpose. With help of all these security forces, we used to have a detailed deployment plan, and we have worked out a lot of issues, and we have sorted out a lot of deployment details, and we have conducted a lot of interstate coordination meeting with our neighboring states like Maharashtra, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Odisha, and we are hopeful of conducting instant free as well as a free and fair polls during the forthcoming assembly elections, which is scheduled for 7th of November. The expansion of road network across Bastar is playing a major role in the administration's attempt to re-establish presence in areas which it had lost over the decades. One of the prerequisites of road expansion is setting up of security camps.
which is facing resistance in some areas from the local villagers, who feel that the government is more interested in laying claim over natural resources such as minerals, which is present in abundance across the state. One more such polling center will be functional on voting day at Silgher, where in May 2021, a protest meeting of the Adivasis against the establishment of a CRPF camp had swelled to a gathering of thousands. Police opened fire, resulting in the death of 3 protesters, who were later dubbed as Maoists by the security establishment. At the spot, meters away from the CRPF camp, stands a small installation erected by the Maoists in memory of those who had died during the protests. Ironically, many villagers living right next to the poll center will not be able to vote as their names are missing from the electoral rolls. आपका नाम बोलो।
कुंजाम सुक्का है सर।
कुंजाम
सुक्का।
आप इसी गांव के रहने वाले हैं?
यही गांव रहते।
अच्छा, तो आपको पता है इस बार चुनाव होने वाला है इधर? 7 तारीख को वोटिंग है।
ऐसे बोल रहे सर।
अच्छा, तो वोटिंग, ये चुनाव केंद्र यही लगा है आपके घर के पास। तो आपने कभी वोटिंग किया है पहले?
नहीं,
आज तक कभी वोटिंग किया नहीं?
नहीं लगा।
अच्छा, तो आप क्या करते? खेती बाड़ी करते?
खेती करते सर।
तो आपका नाम वोटिंग लिस्ट में है, आपको पता
नहीं
है?
सर।
कोई चुनाव प्रचार में कोई पार्टी के लोग आए इस गांव में?
नहीं आए सर।
नहीं आए?
नहीं आए।
कांग्रेस, बीजेपी, कोई नेता, कोई लोग नहीं आए? तो इधर आंगनवाड़ी में कितने बच्चे हैं?
जी यहाँ 27 बच्चे हैं।
आंगनवाड़ी में 27 बच्चे?
जी।
आंगनवाड़ी कहाँ पे है? पास में?
जी ये दे
पास में?
जी।
और वो गर्भवती माएँ वगैरह भी आती होंगी?
जी आते हैं।
तो आप लोग कैसे उनको सेवाएं कैसे करते हैं?
जी उनके लिए भी खाना वाना बना के देते हैं।
खाना वाना बनाते हैं?
जी।
तो बच्चों को टैबलेट वगैरह देते हैं जो?
जी देते हैं सर। जैसे सर्दी काशी का बुखार होता है तो उसके अनुसार देते हैं।
और खाना भी मिलता है उनको?
जी।
गर्म खाना जो मिलना
जी।
चाहिए? अच्छा, तो आपके आंगनवाड़ी में दिक्कतें कुछ है जो कि आपको लगता है कि सरकार को ध्यान देना चाहिए उस पर?
जी
ऐसा कुछ कि ज़्यादा और पैसा चाहिए आपको या ऐसा कुछ?
जी पैसा नहीं मिलता है सर, वही से सामान मिलता है।
सामान?
जैसे दाल चावल। जी।
दाल चावल सही, मतलब जितना चाहिए उतना आता है या कम आता है?
उतनी आता है सर।
नहीं आता। हमारे पीछे तो आप लोग कितने फैमिली में, परिवार में कितने लोग रहते हैं इस घर पे?
घर में 2 लोग।
कौन कौन आप?
ये चुक्का आई थी, मैं कोरचा माड़ा और मेरा पत्नी बी में।
अच्छा, तो 4-5 लोग रहते हैं?
जी।
तो अब ये अभी भी कच्चा घर है आपके पास?
जी
कच्चा घर है ये?
कच्चा घर है सर।
पक्का घर के लिए आप लोगों ने अप्लाई किया है? सरपंच को बोला है?
नहीं बोले सर।
अच्छा, क्या आपको पता है कि प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना के तहत पक्का घर बनता है?
नहीं पता है सर।
अच्छा।
कच्चा घर बना है।
अच्छा।
कुछ इंदिरावासी भी नहीं आया, कुछ ये टोटा लोग भी नहीं आया।
अच्छा।
कुछ भी नहीं दिया है।
तो इधर का सरपंच कौन है?
ये इधर का सरपंच सन्नू, कोरसा सन्नू।
तो कभी आप उनको बोले कि घर बना दे, पक्का घर?
नहीं बोले सर।
अच्छा, उन्होंने भी कुछ नहीं दिखाया? मतलब
नहीं दिखाया सर, कुछ नहीं देता है।
अच्छा।
खाली दौड़ना पड़ रहता है।
और ये बारिश के टाइम पानी भरता है इधर?
भरता है सर, पानी
भर जाता
जी।
है? अच्छा, तो इसमें दिक्कतें आती होंगी?
दिक्कत आती है सर।
For the men in uniform, the very act of setting up these booths where polling officers will be flown in from Raipur via helicopters is a mark of progress in the fight against the Maoists. One helipad has been created right next to a police post at Tarem near Silgher for this purpose. During the construction of the road on which the polling station at Silgher stands, nearly 50 CRPF men laid down their lives. At the starting point of the road at Bijapur, the CRPF has erected a gate in the memory of those personnel. Even during the peak of the Maoist insurgency, the voter turnout in Bastar used to exceed 70%, as locals, predominantly Adivasis, used to come out in large numbers, staring down the threats of Maoists. With the administration opening polling booths in many areas for the first time in decades, the voting percentage this time is expected to rise. However, it goes without saying that the circumstances remain highly challenging, with very little room for any lapses.